Imagine getting a text from your spouse. No warning, no heart-to-heart, no chance to even prepare yourself. Just a cold, emotionless message that says, "I want a divorce. All communication goes through my lawyer. Do not contact me." What would you do in that moment? Would you break down, cry, beg, maybe lash out in anger? Or would you take a deep breath, reply with one single word, and flip the entire situation upside down? That's exactly what I did. And within 72 hours, her own lawyer was the one frantically calling me. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or betrayed by someone who thought they could just toss you aside like trash, you're going to love this story. Hit that like button, subscribe if you crave satisfying justice, and let me take you through the day my wife tried to destroy me and ended up destroying her own plan instead. I wasn't naive. I knew my marriage had cracks. Over the past year, my wife had grown colder. The late nights at work, the constant eye rolls at dinner when I tried to talk about my day, the way she looked at her phone with that little smirk, tilting the screen away whenever I entered the room. There were red flags, sure, but after 8 years of marriage, I thought we could still fix it. I thought she'd at least have the decency to sit me down and talk about what was wrong. Instead, one Tuesday afternoon, my phone buzzed with the kind of message that feels like someone driving a knife straight into your chest. It was her, the woman I had promised forever to, and her message was just 13 words. "I want a divorce. All communication through my lawyer. Do not contact me." I stared at that screen until my vision blurred. My heart wasn't racing. It was sinking, heavy, like a stone dropped into deep water. This wasn't just rejection. It was erasure. She hadn't just ended our marriage with a text. She had reduced me to a case number, a legal inconvenience, a burden to be processed by some stranger in a suit. For a split second, I wanted to scream. I wanted to call her, demand an explanation, ask her how she could throw away nearly a decade of life together in one cold message, maybe even beg her to reconsider, the way so many people do when they're blindsided. But then, something shifted inside me. A calm voice cut through the storm raging in my head. If she wants cold, give her cold. So I typed 2 words back. Understood. That word carried weight. It wasn't surrender. It was strategy. If she wanted this divorce handled through lawyers, then fine. If she wanted to cut me out emotionally, then done. But she had forgotten something crucial. I was the one funding her entire lifestyle, the credit cards, the rent, the car lease, the weekly spa appointments, the streaming services, the phone bill. Hell, even the wine subscription she bragged about to her friends. All of it. And she thought she could just ghost me and keep living like nothing happened? Not today. The moment I hit send, I got to work. The first thing I did was log into our bank account. One by one, I froze every joint card. Her Platinum Amex? Declined. Her Visa? Gone. Her boutique store card that she loved? Flashing around? Dead on arrival. Next, I canceled the automatic transfers I had been sending to her separate account for expenses. Finally, I called the landlord. Our lease was under my name. I told him I would be vacating and would no longer be responsible. By the time I was done, she went from queen of the castle to a squatter with no throne. At first, there was silence. No texts, no calls. She had wanted cold, and that's what she got. But then, about 48 hours later, I started seeing missed calls. Unknown numbers, blocked ID. I ignored them. If she wanted everything through lawyers, then she could keep that same energy. But on the 3rd day, 72 hours after her little ice-cold divorce message, I got a voicemail. Not from her, from her lawyer. And his voice wasn't calm, professional, and detached like I expected. It was panicked. "Mr. Davis, we really need to discuss the financial situation. Your wife is in a difficult position right now. Please call me back at your earliest convenience." A difficult position? Oh, you mean she actually has to live without draining me dry for the first time in years? The irony was delicious. Turns out, my wife had expected me to just keep footing the bill until the divorce was finalized. She wanted freedom without consequences, independence without responsibility. She wanted me to keep her lifestyle on a silver platter while she walked away like the ice queen she thought she was. But her whole case was built on the assumption that I'd play nice. When I didn't, her strong lawyer suddenly turned into a desperate messenger. So I called him back, calm as a monk. "Mr. Davis," he started, his voice shaking a little, "your wife's cards have all been declined. She says she can't access funds for groceries, rent, or her car. This is creating a hardship." I let the silence drag out. I could practically hear him sweating on the other end of the line. Finally, I said, "She asked for no direct communication. She wanted everything handled by a lawyer. So here we are. Handle it." The silence on his end was priceless. He stumbled over his words, trying to explain how temporary support might be necessary, how we could work something out. I cut him off cold. "She made her choice. I'm just respecting it." And then I hung up. That was the turning point. From that moment, the dynamic shifted. No more cold dominance from her. No more smug little texts or secret smirks at her phone. Suddenly, she was the one chasing, begging, scrambling to figure out what went wrong. She wanted a divorce? Fine. She got it. But she had to crawl through the mud of her own choices to get there. I stopped being the victim the second I decided not to react emotionally. Instead, I used her own strategy, cold, clinical detachment, turned back on her like a mirror, and it worked better than I could have imagined. See, revenge doesn't always have to be loud. Sometimes the quietest move is the deadliest. By staying calm, by not exploding, by not begging, I robbed her of the control she thought she had. I reminded her of a truth people often forget. When you underestimate someone, when you disrespect them, when you think they're weak, sometimes they'll let you walk right into your own downfall, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, my wife wanted everything to go through her lawyer, and within 72 hours, her lawyer was begging me for help. The sweetest part? I didn't have to scream, fight, or argue. I didn't have to become someone I wasn't. I just had to say one word: understood. And then I acted. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment below. Have you ever watched someone's arrogance backfire spectacularly? I'd love to hear your stories. And of course, subscribe for more true revenge stories that prove karma always finds its way.